Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. All right, I'm not going to make this a long lesson, but I want to go into this article because it said nurse claims a voice told her to kill three kids, and is now suing medical team for not stopping her. And as you can see, this appears to be an Edomite woman. But even regardless of that, not because that honestly don't even matter, because you've had situations where you've had people that look like Israelites say the same thing, that it seemed like a voice. Or they said a voice told them to do this or do that. But like I said, a voice, and I'm gonna read a little bit of it. It says a former Massachusetts nurse accused of strangling her 3 young children to death in their family home before attempting to take her own life claims a chilling voice in her head pushed her towards the unthinkable. You should harm the children. You should kill yourself. You will never be the same. The only option is to die, the voice told Lindsay Clancy, according to the lawsuit she filed against the mental health providers who treated her before the killings. Clancy, who is charged with murdering her children, Cora, 5, Dawson, 3, and 8-month-old Callan, on January 24, 2023, claims doctors missed clear warning signs as her mental health rapidly deteriorated and failed to properly treat her, according to the lawsuits. Now, and I guess I'll just read the last one. It says 2 lawsuits filed in Norfolk Superior Court in Massachusetts, one of Lindsay Clancy and another by her husband, Patrick Clancy, accused several mental health providers of wrongful death and medical negligence. The lawsuits seek unspecified damages in a jury trial. And this is another shot of her. You can tell she just looks like she got demons on her, because that's exactly what that was. She said a voice was telling her to do this and do that, but in actuality she had demons on her. And that's what the Lord is continuing to amp up in these days, the manifestation of the demons on people, because as we know, this word, it gets demons up off of you. But simultaneously, what about when people that's not in this truth? Or what about for people that's not in the truth? This is Sirach chapter 30. Is it 39? Yeah, I think it's Sirach 39. Yeah, Sirach chapter 39, 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. Oh, man. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord said he got spirits created specifically for judgment. He got spirits that's created to carry out his vengeance, and they're going to appease him. They're going to appease in everything that they was created for and what they were created to do. Now, I'm gonna get a couple of counts. Let's see. Let's see. As a matter of fact, I know a better way to find it. Okay, yeah. This is Matthew 17, starting at verse 14 in the AMP. When they approached the crowd, a man came to Yahweh Shai, kneeling before him and saying, "Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic it's a moonstroke, but lunatic, and suffers terribly, for he often falls into the fire and often into the water, harming himself, basically. And I brought, or getting into mess, getting into trouble too. And I brought him to your disciples, and they were not able to heal him. And Yahweh Shai answered, you unbelieving and perverted generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him here to me. And Yahweh Shai rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and the boy was healed at once. See? And this is, well, I'm keep going. Then the disciples came to Yahweh Shai privately and asked, why could we not drive it out? And he answered, because of your little faith, your lack of trust and confidence in the power of the Most High. For I assure you and most solemnly say to you, if you have living faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there. And if it is the Most High's will, it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. But this kind of demon does not go out except by prayer and fasting. Right. So Yahweh Shai was basically letting his disciples know, look, this is how it is casted out. Let me get another example. This is Mark chapter 9. Same account. Mark 9, starting at verse 17. One of the crowd replied to him, teacher, I brought you my son, possessed with a spirit, and which makes him unable to speak. And whenever it seizes him, intended to do harm, it throws him down, and he foams at the mouth and grinds his teeth and becomes stiff. I told your disciples to drive it out, and they could not do it. He replied, O unbelieving, faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him to me. They brought the boy to him with the demonic spirit. When the demonic spirit saw him, immediately it threw the boy into a convulsion. And falling to the ground, he began rolling around and foaming at the mouth. Yahweh asked his father, how long has this been happening to him? And he answered, since childhood. The demon has often thrown him both into fire and into water, intending to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. Yahweh said to him, you say to me, if you can. All things are possible for the one who believes and trusts in me. Immediately the father of the boy cried out with a desperate, piercing cry, saying, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. When Yahweh saw that a crowd was rapidly gathering around him, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, you deaf and mute spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again. After screaming out and throwing him into a terrible convulsion, it came out. The boy looked so much like a corpse, so still and pale, that many of the spectators said he is dead. But Yahweh took him by the hand and raised him, and he stood up. So it's the same. Just going into different examples, Yahweh was casting demons off of people, and that's what this word does. Because Yahweh came in the volume of the book, he is the word. As it says in John chapter 1, Yahweh is the word, and it gets demons up off of you. That's why we have to constantly meditate and be in the word of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh, because we are walking in a very dark, demonic world where people have demons on them, and it can very well transfer or jump on you. You being in a certain mental or try to put thoughts in your mind. See, in the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to be subject to this. We're not going to be affected by that. Especially when we get those new bodies, we're not going to be affected by that. We're not going to worry about that. But while we in this current setup right now, in these current bodies, we are going to be tried. You're going to be tested and tried. That's why we constantly have to be meditating and focused into the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh. Just like going back to this, they say you can just look at this woman and just tell that she got demons on her, you know? And this will look like a picture of her being, I guess looking normal, so to speak. But from that picture to this picture, you can clearly tell something different. And even in the first one, you can look at it and tell that something is off. But the second one, you can definitely tell, definitely tell there's something going on with her. The way she just looking, how her face is. So let me get one more. I guess I get it in Luke. This is Luke chapter 8. Luke chapter 8 and starting at 27 AMP. Now when Yahushua stepped out on land, he was met by a man from the city of Gerasa who was possessed with demons. For a long time he had wore no clothes and was not living in a house but among the tombs. Seeing Yahushua, he cried out with a terrible voice from the depths of his throat and fell down before him in dread and terror and shouted loudly, "What business do we have in common with each other, Yahushua, Son of the Most High? I beg you, do not torment me before the appointed time of judgment." Now he was already commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for it had seized him violently many times, and he was kept under guard bound with chains and shackles. But he would break the bonds and be driven by the demon into the desert. Then Yahushua asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Answered Legion, because many demons have entered him." They continually begged him to commend them, not to commend them to go into the abyss. Now a large herd of pigs was feeding there on the mountain. The demons begged Yahushua to allow them to enter the pigs, and he gave them permission. See, Yahushua has power over all of this. He has power over all. And like you said, they begged him, can we go over here? They was begging him. Like I said, they said they begged him. They beseeched him, they begged him, they besought him, asking. Verse 33, then the demon, and this man had multiple demons on him. Just like in today's time, you have a lot of people that have multiple demons on them, And like I said, the demons, they even try to mess with us, They're going to, even more so than other people that they already got, because you have this truth. They know who you are, They are well aware of who you are, and their goal is to get you to fall out. Their goal is to get you to go off, to get you to be at odds with Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And that's a part of their duty. That's a part of their job. It's not that they're doing the opposite of what the Lord told them to do. Remember, he got spirits created for vengeance. The spirits created for vengeance, it can be left-hand spirits, or the left-hand spirits are a part of that, doing the will of Yahweh by Shema Bashai. And they said they will appease his wrath. They will appease him. They created them. So by them doing the work that he created them to do, it makes the Lord happy. It appeases him, So the same with, like I said, when these demons come against us, now that doesn't mean the Lord sent them against us to destroy us, and we don't have we don't have no hope or nothing. No, they're doing what they were created to do, to be another adversary, and with that being the case, this is to draw us more and more to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, because as you can see, Yahushua has power over them, and he can cast them out. He can keep you in a stable mentality. A lot of people are about to bug out, and a lot of people are about to, or we're about to see the demons really just come off of people. Well, not come off of them, but come out of people, so to speak. Not come out like they're not on them no more, but rather see people spaz out And most people, they label it, they got mental issues, they got mental health issues, mental this, mental that. But no, it's demons associated with these various things that people call mental issues or mental, they got a mental issue, mental illness. That's what I'm trying to say. It's demons associated with that. As we just saw or read, the demon that was of deaf, DEAF, or mute, making somebody where they can't speak. It's a demon associated with that. And Yahweh Shai cast it off of the boy. And the boy was able to speak and he wasn't dumb. Just various different things. Being blind. It's demons associated with that. They had the power to bring that on people or take it off. Well, the Lord has the power to take them off. But I'm going to read this again, verse 33. Then the demons came out of the man and entered the pigs, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. So Yahweh Shai has the power to cast demons off people, But again, just going back to the title of this article, it said, nurse claims a voice told her to kill her 3 kids and is now suing medical team for not stopping her. But the voices that she heard were actually demons, or a demon telling her to do these things, And this is, like I said, this is really an Edomite. This is right up their alley, This is right up their alley. But like I said, I'm gonna make it short, just kind of touch on that. And Lord will, it was edifying. So on that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.